Happy Flower Friday. My name is Valerie and I'm a floral enthusiast and designer. And this week I'm going to show you how to make a foliage arrangement using all greenery with grocery store flowers. For this week's arrangement, we're going to use a glass container, and I've already put a spoonful of sugar, a half a packet of flower food, and a couple of cubes of ice in my water. I have selected to use 4 different types of foliage. Leather leaf foliage, some fun silver dollar, some green hydrangeas because I love hydrangeas, and some Hypericum. So Hypericum's a little bit of a filler flower, and I really love the orange hue that it has, so we're going to add it to our foliage arrangement just to give it a little bit of texture. I'm going to get started with our leather leaf foliage. What I really love about this foliage is that it is pretty much consistent in that it has the same shape for each stem. So it's going to be a great foundation for our arrangement. And I'm going to start by lining our glass container. Now that we've added our leather leaf in our vase, we're going to add our silver dollar. I really love silver dollar. It's one of my favorite foliages to use. It's a very wild and sort of long, I would say, type of foliage. What I typically do is I make sure that I take off any petals or any pieces that are brown or that look like they're dead. So let's see, right here, this is a telltale sign of a dead petal. It's a little bit darker and it's a little bit green down the center. But this is pretty much done. So get rid of that. And then here too, some of the petals, you can tell it's kind of browning on the side here. I'm gonna pull that off as well. And this side too. And also I'm just gonna pull this one off too. It's brown here, but I don't want to make sure that I'm, taking off too many, but if they're brown and dead, you might as well just get rid of them. So yeah, so now I have a clean stem. And I'm going to trim the bottom just a little bit. I would say maybe, I took off maybe like half an inch here. Okay, perfect. And then I'm just going to stick it in the center of my arrangement. There you go. Perfect. And now I'm going to do it with the rest of these. Now we have our 2 types of foliage. We have our leather leaf, which is going to be the foundation of our arrangement, and then we sprinkled in the silver dollar, and it looks great. I love the mix of the foliage. You can do 1. I chose to do 2, mainly because I wanted to add a little bit of texture and some fun. And now we're going to add my favorite, which is the green hydrangea. So for the green hydrangea, we got a packet that has 2 stems, and that's going to be perfect because we don't really want the hydrangea to be the centerpiece per se. We want it to blend in with our greenery that we've already arranged. So let's open it up. So if you saw my last video on hydrangeas, I mentioned that there was a couple things that I did in order to keep the hydrangeas fresh and lasting a really long time. One of those things is making sure that I dip the head of the hydrangea into water, because a hydrangea likes to hydrate through its petals as well as the stem, and it's a very, very thirsty flower. So that's what I'm going to do. But first, I'm going to go ahead and strip some of the petals. And I'll leave these since it's a green foliage arrangement, but I'm going to dump the head. For my second stem, it looks like we have a couple of pieces that are dead. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clip those off. Perfect. And take some of those stems as well, and then dunk this head as well. So now our hydrangeas are ready. So I am going to place these 2 hydrangea heads in our arrangement, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So now we have our leather leaf foliage, our silver dollar eucalyptus, and we have our green hydrangeas. I went ahead and dunked the hydrangea heads so that they can properly hydrate, and I also trimmed the stems just so that they can drink from the bottom as well. And now we're gonna add our final flower, which is actually a filler flower and not foliage, and it's going to be our Hypericum. And I purposely chose the Hypericum to be a different color just so that it can add a little bit of texture and just a little bit of color to our arrangement. I love Hypericum. You got a couple of the beads that come per each stem. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove some of the leaves that look like they're browning or look like they're dead. It's a pretty long type of filler flower. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut maybe like 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Just like that. I'm gonna cut it in the middle. Perfect. And then I think for my arrangement, I'm gonna put it somewhere where it's inconspicuous, and I'm gonna bunch them together. I'm not gonna spread them apart. So we have 1, 2, I have maybe like 3 of these stems. So let me take some of the leaf from the bottom, and then I'm gonna cut another 2.5 inches, and then cut in the middle here. And then same thing, take some of these leaves off. And you can leave the leaves on. I take them off mainly because our arrangement already has a lot of greenery and foliage. So what I'm gonna do is just take those off and then cut another 2 inches off the stem. Cut it like that. So I have 3 and I'm gonna bunch them. I think I'm gonna bunch them here to my right, or my left, your right. So let's see here. That's perfect. Yeah, that looks great there. And I let them stick out a little bit more. Yeah, perfect. So if you can see them there, I'm gonna lower this one here. There we go. And then I'm looking at this, it looks like my eucalyptus is sticking out some. Don't be afraid to go back in the arrangement with your little pliers. Just gonna cut this a little bit shorter. Yep, just like that. We'll get rid of those. Yeah, this is great. And here you have it, your Flower Friday arrangement for this week, our foliage arrangement. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell so that you can get notifications for future videos. I drop a video every Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.